In this video, I will walk through how to run a 15-minute implementation call that actually converts. This is for any business that has a product suite of different offers, ideally a high-ticket offer, and then low-ticket offers, low-ticket products that ascend to the high-ticket offer. How do we implement implementation calls to speed that process up? So what we're going to cover in this video is what is an implementation call, what is the purpose, how do we make money from it, the requirements to see success with implementation calls, what does that look like, how to book implementation calls from low-ticket purchasers, templates included. I'll include the emails, the SMS, the funnel you can use, and then how to actually conduct these implementation calls, what to say, how to follow up, and the systems in place to see success with this. So first and foremost, what is an implementation call? An implementation call is a short, high-impact strategy session offered after someone purchases a low-ticket product. You're not pitching on this call. It's designed to really deliver immediate value, trust, and identify where somebody is in their customer journey. Identify where they are in proportion to ascending to your high-ticket offer and understanding just more about them, okay? Buyers aren't always ready to book sales calls, but they're almost always, they'll say yes to free value, okay? So likely your funnel looks like this right now. This is a regular funnel versus a funnel with an implementation call. You got your content, you got your ads ripping, maybe one, maybe both of these are ripping, and you're likely doing them to a webinar, a workshop, some form of a lead magnet, a free download, or a low ticket purchase, okay? And like I said, the biggest issue with this is that people have all these lead magnets. Some are good, some are bad. They're sending them to their opt-ins and their VSL right here, and they're going right for a book sales call. And just with the market right now, trust is at an all-time low. People are hesitant to booking a call. They know it's a sales call. They know there's a closer on the other side. They know there's closing tactics and sales psychology that's going to happen if they book that call. And people are hesitant. Even people that can benefit from your service that are qualified, they hold it off, okay? It's not like 2020 where people just book calls and spend stimulus money. People are hesitant to booking a call. It's usually the biggest drop-off rate in this funnel is people that are leads and they won't actually book a call. So how do we expedite that process and aid that is by offering a complimentary implementation call, okay? This is only for low-ticket purchases, people that have already paid some form of money, which shows their intent and their seriousness of learning this. Again, not everybody is serious, but at least some friction to getting onto this calendar. And we're just increasing this process of how do we get these people right here into a booked call, a booked sales call, okay? This is done from your appointment setter, likely, or your closer, or you as an offer owner if you're willing to do this. But typically, I'm an appointment setter for an offer, and this is what I do in terms of running these implementation calls. So the main purpose of this implementation call is to get as many conversations as possible with prospects who are seemingly qualified. Not everybody will be qualified, but the pool of people that we're speaking with, we want them to be seemingly qualified. They understand the business model, they understand aware, they bought into the vehicle, the mechanism of what you have to do, okay? First and foremost, we're developing a relationship and we're delivering immediate value to a new low-ticket customer, okay? Most offers don't do this. They sell a low-ticket product and they just forget about that person. We want to be different than everybody else. Be fun, be enjoyable to speak with. Be like, okay, I like these guys. They reached out. They're helping me right off the bat off a low-ticket purchase. Kind of blow them away. People will be a little bit shocked when you deliver value like this, okay? And we want to provide clarity and momentum so they start using what they bought, okay? 95%, I don't know the exact number, but I'd say 99% literally don't use what they buy, okay? This is especially true for info, but also for just many things. Like when you go to Home Depot and you buy a wrench, use it one time and you don't ever use it again. It sits in the garage for years, okay? So we want to, as soon as somebody buys, give them clarity, give them encouragement, give them momentum and a clear path of how to see success with this, okay? We're building trust. We're opening the door to the next steps without being pushy, and we're actually engaging with your target audience, okay? Imagine that. You gather the exact language, the problems, and the goals of your potential clients, okay? A good setter or you as an offer owner will take all this information, take all the implementation calls, and feed the marketing team every single day with, I heard this as a problem, I hear this as a fear, I hear this is an obstacle, this is a desire. Feed the marketing, which will get more leads to your low ticket and just in your funnel and help improve this process, okay? It's a very important thing, and you actually can get much better answers from your target audience by just having an implementation call rather than a sales call where people's guard is up and they're not truly opening up to what is going on, okay? Human interaction builds trust faster than automation. And again, this is the process that we are taking our prospects through, okay? Number one, building trust with you, with the solution, with the mechanism, okay? The action, okay? I just ran a marathon. I had a whole training plan. I at least had some level of trust in the plan I was following to run hundreds of miles and actually commit to that, okay? You don't do anything without trust. So we have to build trust in the mechanism, and most importantly, I'd say clarity. More than trust is clarity that this will work and this is the action that we're taking. If people take action, they will see success if you have a good product and you have a very streamlined way of doing things. And when people say success, it's the easiest way to ascend them to a high ticket offer, okay? The only way you can ascend people when people don't see success is by going into the identity. You need accountability. You got character trait issues, and that's why you need mentorship and coaching at 5K. It's a much tougher sell. I personally don't prefer selling like that. That's how most info products will sell is on that character traits. The best way to sell is somebody purchases a $30 course. They get $1,000 in value. They're bought into you. They're bought into the mechanism, and the ascension is so much easier. And that is the whole premise of this. Clear next steps, get them a quick win, and get them ascended to your high ticket offer, okay? The majority of our high ticket clients don't come straight from cold traffic. They come from opt-ins and low ticket purchases, okay? And we are adding fuel to this process. Again, expediting a lead, a webinar attendee, or a low ticket purchase ideally, into a book call for your high ticket offer, okay? The requirements to see success with this. Number one, this only works if your low ticket product actually attracts your ICP for your high ticket offer. Okay, let's take an example. Let's say you run a real estate investing offer. You help people acquire rental properties and investments. Okay, 2 low ticket offers under that. Let's say how to acquire your first rental property step by step. And the second low ticket product could be how to systemize property management when you already have an existing rental property. Okay, the second one is going to be a lot more powerful. You'll get a lot less purchases, a lot less people that are actually already have a rental property, but that if people buy that product, they already have a rental property and they're already invested in the game rather than just, oh, this sounds like a nice idea. I want to just get into this business model. So again, with an implementation call, there is a lot of management debts. There's human capital with your appointments that are here. There's technical debt in setting up everything. So we want to make sure it's the right type of person and very tailored. This isn't just, if this is a mass market, top of funnel, low ticket, it's not going to be as effective as if it's more of a tailored solution. Let's say templates, contracts for, your real estate property and how to delegate it to a property manager. I'm not in real estate. It's probably not exactly what it would look like, but you get the point. Be specific to who you are attracting so it actually aligns with your high ticket offer. Should be a straight line. Okay. Number 2, this only works if your low ticket product actually delivers real value. Imagine that. It should be a 10-to-1 value ratio, and people actually go through the course, they get value from it, and they see the potential. If it's just a repurposed garbage ebook, nobody is going to want to ascend to a high ticket product. Okay, so very important that's in line. That's pretty self-explanatory, but most low ticket offers aren't like that, so it won't work. Okay, this only works, number 3, if your appointment setter and closer is competent and can lead with authority. Okay, they should deeply understand your offer, your pain points, your case studies. They should be very familiar with the clients that are seeing results in your program. They have high energy. They treat the call more so as a coaching call rather than a setter call or a closing call. Okay, it really is the same skill set, but you're not just asking questions the whole time. You got to actually provide insight. You got to provide value. You got to provide direction, and you got to be a leader in these calls. Okay. And then number 4, this is a mid to long-term sales strategy. It's not a quick cash grab, okay? Again, we're not selling on this call. Likely you will have some people that are ready to go and you can book them in later that week and you'll get sales that way, but oftentimes that sales cycle is 7 to 28 days and potentially even longer. It could be 60, 90 days. And that's why follow-up is going to be very important in this. We'll get into that, but ultimately, if you do not have these 4 in place, do not bother doing implementation calls. And this is why most companies cannot pull this off successfully. It's just they don't have that long-term mindset. They don't have the bandwidth to invest in this infrastructure today to see results in 90 days. They would need cash today. They're only going to book a call if they can sell the person right away. Okay. So how to actually book these implementation calls from low ticket buyers? Very simple stuff. There's really 4 ways. Number 1, a post-purchase funnel page right after they purchase. Take them to a page offering that. I'll have a template on the next slide here. Post-purchase email and SMS after they purchase, reminding them of this free implementation call. Again, templates provided here. CTA inside the course material. This is very powerful from the founder, from you, from the person that does the marketing, telling them like, hey, listen, we want to make sure every single student in this program sees success. Even though this is self-paced, we want to make sure we can at least guide you in the right direction to see success, and this is not a sales call, okay? The final one is an outbound dial from a setter to all these buyers, ideally as soon as possible after they purchase this within 72 hours, okay? So what does this actually look like? A post-purchase funnel page. Very simple, confirming their order, thanking them for their purchase, and just telling them to book their one-on-one implementation call for your product, okay? A personalized action plan that helps them achieve what you offer. Speak with an industry expert to tailor the system, learn advanced strategies to YZ, and make it very clear this is not a sales call. There's no sales pitch. It's just a quick, actionable call to help you get value fast, okay? Another thing you can do to increase the bookings is to add a bonus. This is probably the best way to actually get people incentivized to do this call, okay? We have a bonus swipe file. We have a bonus module. We have a bonus course, and most people will want to get that, especially after they've purchased. Okay, this really is an irresistible offer. They've already spent a little bit of money. They want to get value from it right after they purchase it. Very important. And a bonus module will incentivize them to actually unlock that and book a call. We see, at least 50% of low ticket purchasers actually book a call into implementing this. So very simple calendar page, just like this. Email templates, I won't read through all this, but again, you can copy and paste this, tailor this to your offer. Yeah, we take your success seriously. We want to make sure you get the best results possible. Free implementation call. Yeah, make it clear, 100% free, include with your course. Bonus, allow them to respond. I would also have your support team, your support VA to a lot of these emails, just because there are a lot of support requests that do come in. For whatever reason, as you know, with low ticket purchasers, a lot of people they got issues. So your setter or your sales team just should not be managing those. You should have a VA that is linked in on all these emails and can handle that, okay? SMS template, again, copy and paste. Thank you for your purchase. This call is included, no pitch, just practical steps, okay? And then finally, the outbound dialer from a setter. I would do this after 24 hours. So they've seen this SMS, this email, this funnel page, and after that, give them a call, just reminding them, but ideally within 72 hours, as it's fresh, they just purchase it, and it's top of mind for them, okay? So you got people booked onto your calendar for these implementation calls. What is the structure of the call? The four-part framework, okay? Number one is going to be pre-call preparation, okay? I made a video on the questions to ask before a sales call in the application form. Very similar to that, but I would make it a little bit less of a qualification and more so just gathering information, okay? What's their biggest challenge in achieving X result right now? What is one specific result you hope to achieve from this course, okay? Really just current situation, future state, and challenges, okay? Just get an idea. Also, just industry. You can ask maybe a revenue question, but again, we're not hard qualifying here. But just getting understanding before the call where they're coming in from, okay? And you need to have a strong leadership frame. Very much get to the point. Listen, this is a 15-minute call. Thank you for investing in XYZ course. The sole intention of this is to help you get results faster and not just be another course that collects dust. Are you with me on that? Perfect. So I see you're in X industry. That's great. We've got a bunch of other people crushing it in this community, in that industry. I'm excited to do the same. Just verify that everything looks the same and then get right into it, okay? So the first thing is just current situation and desired state, okay? Very similar to a sales call initially, but just identifying where they are currently with implementing the framework. Let's say it is a content offer, okay? Have you started posting content? What platforms are you posting on right now? Understand where they are in the journey. What system do you currently have in place to achieve X outcome, okay? What does your current system look like? You want to build doubt in that they don't have a system, okay? What are you currently doing right now in your business? What are you working on? Understand their business. Very kind of generic sales conversation, a very generic, discovery is what we're going here. The most important thing with this is we're not just asking questions. So we can start that off first, 5 to 7 minutes, asking questions, understanding who they are, just having a conversation like with anybody, like with a friend. But then we need to actually help them, okay? So you're using X. Honestly, I'd recommend switching to Y. You're posting on Instagram. Honestly, I'd recommend YouTube for your offer, but actually tangible things. Do X, Y, Z. Aim for one YouTube video per week. Really go quality over quantity, and use vidIQ to help design your titles, whatever the offer may be. Again, this is just an example. Really, what you want to do is based on everything you told me. Here's the okay. The important thing to diagnose, if you are a setter taking these calls or whoever's taking these calls, the most important thing is, where is this customer in the customer journey? Okay. Are they just starting out? Is this just a nice idea? Have they already started, but they're not seeing success? Do they already see success and they need advanced level, support? Okay. That is an emotional intelligence question that you want to ask then, in terms of where we take this call. Okay. Because if they're just starting out, there's no reason to even mention the high ticket offer. If they are already seeing success, that is when you want to potentially, bring up the point of further support. Okay. And then ask them at the end, does anything not make sense? Does anything that feels unclear or hard to commit to? I like to have the law of three, in terms of giving them advice. So a tactical thing they can do, more of a consistent daily, weekly action. And then also accountability. Just really have the thing, tag me, send me an email. I'm going to send you an email after this call. In 14 days, I want to make sure that you are actually taking action on this. So tag me in the community, tag me in the school, have that connection, just really connect to this person. And I promise you, it's just good for your offer. It's good for your brand. It's good for your company. And nobody else does this because, again, it's added friction and it takes a long time to see the ROI on this process. Okay. The goal is to get them to tell you, wow, this has been awesome. You want to give them so much value. They ask, how can I get more one-on-one support? Just indebt them with value, from this. Okay. Now we get to the upsell. So an important thing is indirectly mention case studies and active clients in the high ticket program. Okay. I had an example, right here in the introduction. We work with a lot of people in that industry. That's interesting you say that. We have a client that is actually doing the exact same thing in our program and doing this. You want to indirectly talk about your program, your results, your case studies, without pitching it, without hard selling it, but just mentioning it, from an indirect standpoint. Okay. If they are your ICP for your high ticket offering, again, this is where the emotional intelligence comes in of, where is this person in the journey? This is when you want to probably soft pitch at the end of the call. Again, it's a case-by-case basis, but listen, John, this has been a great call. This course is definitely going to help you with XYZ, but based on everything you've told me, nothing you've said is inconsistent with the type of person that's really looking to dial in XYZ, which is what our program, the flagship coaching program, you can help with. Are you open to exploring that possibility with one of our closers? Don't call them a closer, but that's who you're speaking with. Okay. If they're not taking action, okay, listen, speaking to hundreds of the avatar you're speaking with, in my experience, when people don't take action, okay, it's rarely about the strategy. It's more so about the support, the accountability, and the certainty that what they're doing is actually going to get them the results. That's exactly why we build X program. Are you open to exploring that possibility with one of our closers? Again, don't say closers. Okay. This is not a hard sell. It's just positioning, okay? The closer takes it over from here in terms of the actual sales process, okay? So this is for people that are qualified. They're ready to go in terms of, their current state of that. Not everybody will be, okay? It's important to know, and I probably should have had this earlier, but success equals new problems, okay? So let's take that content offer, for example. You help founders build content, okay? Problem number one is probably people that have never even posted content. They don't know what platform to do. They don't know how to post content. They have a fear of posting content, okay? That is something that a low-ticket course can really help with, how to get the first, few pieces of content out there, okay? When people take action on that, then there's a new problem. They're posting every day, but maybe they're not getting engagement, okay? Maybe they are struggling with, just being consistent with it, but they are, starting to go it. And that is when maybe a mid-ticket program or, still a low-ticket program can help aid that, okay? And then let's say they are being consistent. You've been consistent for 90 days. They're seeing success. They're seeing engagement. They're seeing some leads coming in. But now it's just a time thing. They need to delegate. They need to hire an editor. They need to hire a social media manager, a ghostwriter, whatever it may be. That is when, high-level support comes in. So success always equals new problems, and that is why we want them to get success, okay? We want to have trust, take action, see success, okay? Even if it's a level 1 problem, they're not qualified right away, get them to take action, see success, and they will come back in 60 to 90 days and be ready, okay? So that is kind of the frame and the mindset of this call and whether we upsell them or not, okay? Now, a lot of people will, the last thing here is just reverse engineer the customer journey. So ask myself, what problem does the low ticket solve? What new problem will this one create once they succeed? And what solution do I offer at the next tier, okay? So some people, it's like, perfect, just go through that low ticket program. Other people, it's like, this, if I'm being honest with you, this is maybe not the exact solution to solving the XYZ, and it leads into more of a high-level mentorship, okay? So the most important thing with this, and if you don't do this, this will all be wasted, is going to be the follow-up system, okay? Because again, we're making it clear it's not a sales call. People aren't under the impression that they're, even going to be ascended, into high ticket offer, and that's not our intention, okay? After the implementation call is taken, you need a tight ass follow-up, okay? So schedule into your calendar before getting off the call and update the CRM notes effectively, okay? So this is for somebody that is really just serious. You can just tell on the call that could be a potential good fit. You want to always schedule a second call. And again, you're almost being like an FSM, a client success manager here, a CSM, in terms of helping them and keeping them accountable with this, okay? So you want to send them a personalized email after you have a call, okay? The custom game plan mentioned, the resources promised, the bonus module that they unlock, and a link to a relevant module if that is what you are, unlocking for them, okay? Schedule a 7 to 21 day calendar reminder. I usually do this on the call before getting off. Like, listen, does this all make sense? Cool. Are you going to take action? Awesome. Really get that commitment. What I want to do for you is I want to make sure that we are actually taking action. Would it be helpful to set up a second call 2 weeks down the line, another one like this, just to see where things are at and make sure that you are having, success with this? Okay, most people will say yes to that, okay? Also send an email. You can template this so you're not manually typing this out, but great to speak with you. As promised, here's a quick recap of what we mapped out together. Your 21-day action plan, 1, 2, 3. Very simple. Resources mentioned, 1, 2, 3. If you have any logistical issues, accessing the course, CC'd here is our support VA. They'll make sure you're fully set up and look forward to connecting with you on day and date to check in on your success, okay? Very simple email. Very important you have is because you will get a lot of just issues and people that think this is just free coaching. Again, you are offering implementation, but you are not a coach in this. You are not offering consistent feedback. And what we have is a VA that basically manages all the responses from this if they're just not kind of sales related, or if they have like a question. A lot of people think you're like their best friend after this, and our VA is full time in terms of answering those questions, which can be pretty simple. But that's kind of the structure of this. So really the action items, what to do next is, number 1, audit your existing funnel and offer. Does your low ticket offer actually attract your high ticket ICP? Does it deliver 10x the value to price ratio? Okay. If not, pause there and fix that. That's the only way this will work. Okay. Then set up your booking system, embed implementation call CTAs across the post-purchase page, emails, SMS, and the course portal. Along with the setters that are dialing. Okay, create the calendar page, let your tech team set that up, and then train your appointment setter. Okay, if you are the founder of this or a sales manager, I would recommend you doing like 20 of these calls first. I know it's annoying, but prove the system out. Show them how it's done, how the call is structured, and let your setters listen to those calls, okay? If you just throw your setter into this, likely they will start running this like a normal set call, and they will not understand the frame of it or how to coach. Or you want to get your setters just, ingrained in the mentality of the wins, the pain points, everything about the offer, not just on sales, okay? So master that 15-minute call framework. Again, intro, diagnose, game plan, soft pivot, okay? Make it high leverage, not high pressure, and deliver enough value where they ask how to go deeper, okay? That is always the intention of this. Build a post-call follow-up SOP, so send them a personalized recap of the emails, build out that template in HubSpot or whatever CRM you use, and set reminders to follow up 7 to 21 days. I use just Google Calendar for all my follow-ups. Just set a reminder. You live by your calendar, so you will not miss it if it's in there. And log everything in your CRM. It's the fortune file, okay? Very important that you're taking notes, or at least have a VA go in and get the transcript from the call and make very clear notes of what the person is going through. So when you follow up with them in 7 to 21 days, you can have a very personalized approach. You know what they're going through. You remember that call. If you're taking a lot of these, you will forget. So make sure you are updating that in the CRM. And the last thing is just track metrics weekly. I would really say monthly with this. Again, it's a little bit more of a long-term thing, but number of implementation calls booked, percent that show up, percent that convert to sales calls after 30 days, and revenue generated from this funnel, okay? HubSpot has good tracking to set that all up and track that, and use this to just dial in the data, the scripts, the flows, and the traffic sources. The traffic sources is going to be the main thing with this, is are we actually attracting the right ICP in our low ticket for this implementation call? Again, if it's too mass market, too top of funnel, don't bother with this. This is for like high quality, low ticket products that attract the ICP, and how do we increase that process of bookings? So hopefully this is valuable. Let me know if you guys have any questions, if there's any other videos you want me to make on this. And yeah, I'll see y'all in the next one.